J is for jealousy. Hey, I'm Bec from Be Free Emotional Fitness Training, and I support women and girls to become emotionally stronger.
And I'm Vern from the Connected Circus, and I specialise in male mentoring as well as facilitating creativity, communication and wellbeing programs in schools and businesses.
And together we are Rekindling Relationships. We work with couples through a combination of one-on-one and paired mentoring sessions.
Welcome to our podcast, designed to help you strengthen and bring more fun into your partnership, as well as create a more loving, healthy and strong connection.
Hi everyone, and today we're going to talk about jealousy.
So, what is jealousy and how it comes up in relationships? Maybe how we can be better at dealing with it in a relationship.
Let's go.
So, go on. You actually seem like you've got something to say about this.
I do.
Please.
I'm going to go along the lines of, is it necessarily a bad thing?
Okay, yeah.
Is it necessarily a negative? The reason why I say that is because I think of it like, I don't think any emotion is a bad emotion. As humans, we have to have all the emotions.
And there's reasons for each of the emotions.
Yeah, but we've come to label certain emotions like anger or jealousy as a bad emotion, haven't we?
It's seen as negative because it impacts the way we actually deal with other people, doesn't it?
They're not necessarily bad emotions, are they? But it's how you process them or deal with them.
So if you have an emotion like jealousy, then what you do with that emotion is what actually counts.
That's right.
Okay. If you are feeling jealous about your partner, is probably because there might be some insecurity in you, which is that person's not actually meeting a need and you haven't expressed that need to them.
Yeah, or there's an underlying insecurity from a past story. So that means you need to heal. So it's bringing awareness, isn't it?
So bringing awareness to the emotion. So when you feel jealousy, it's actually about being able to find out what is actually going on with me right now. Why am I feeling jealous? What's come up for me? How is this relevant in this moment?
Yeah.
Or am I creating something?
How can I heal this? I also think another point, that jealousy means that you actually probably truly love your partner. If you weren't jealous, if you didn't get a little bit maybe triggered or jealous, then you're probably, so you're either incredibly secure in your connection and you've done all the healing you need to do, or if there is an underlying little twinge, then maybe it is, I really truly love my partner and there's something that's making me feel uncomfortable, and that can be a warning too, because sometimes that other person's behaviour might not be appropriate because you don't let them get away with flirting with someone else in front of you. So maybe it's also a warning.
So would you say your point of jealousy being a good thing because you can get jealous of me? So this is your way to sort of back up your general way of being in the relationship. So let's say I'm feeling really jealous. So
How can I make it a positive?
How can I make it a positive? And then maybe make it about my partner rather than me. I see where this podcast is going. I see where you're up to.
We need to talk.
Is this the platform to do it?
As a kid, we're often, if we get angry or agitated or annoyed about something, we're often told, don't be angry. But it's actually okay to be angry, but it's how you use that anger
and how you
what you
process
do
it.
with it. Because it's natural as humans to feel every emotion at some point.
Definitely. And
if you don't, there's probably something.
Well, there's people who don't feel certain emotions or don't feel as much, and we're not talking just about sociopaths. And maybe narcissists. It's about people in general. Like you might have had past trauma, so there are certain things which you've shut off. You've just shut that down.
Or we're taught it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Jealousy would have come from our own need as children to have the attention of our caregiver. And when there's another one step in there, and I came from, my family was myself and my younger brother, and we were both very close in age. And I think there was a jealousy because we wanted the attention of our mum. But when you're in a relationship, as you grow up, maybe you're just replaying that same story.
Did you think that stemmed from her actually not being able to give you both enough attention? Or do you think that your emotional awareness at that age, you were still growing, your emotional intelligence? So
I think both, because my mum was a single mum and she was bringing up 2 boys and she was working 3 jobs. So she wasn't always there for us. So she couldn't give us that time. I think it's also the fact that, we probably were emotionally immature and did not understand how to regulate our emotions.
Have you ever had this happen in a relationship, been in a very jealous relationship?
I think I've been on both sides of the coin, where I've been jealous of my partner and I've had my partner jealous of the people in my life. From the outside is that I am someone who talks to everyone. I don't discriminate who I speak to. I can be quite chatty and quite charming. So that has brought up insecurity in my partners because they weren't used to that. They weren't used to being with a man who could talk to men and women. They weren't used to being with someone who just chatted to everyone, and they found that confronting. Mm-hmm. From my own perspective, I've been jealous of others when I've been with someone who maybe I thought was way out of my league, sort of like you. And it's true, you're gorgeous. But I don't get jealous of you, which is interesting. I think I'll talk about that later. So how about you, Bec? Have you been in a jealous relationship?
Yes, I have been in one where they've been particularly jealous. And it was a relationship where it was very much in its infancy, just to see if this person's the right person, hanging out together kind of thing. And they were so incredibly jealous and super insecure. And they're the only person, I would have to say, rightly so, because I wasn't actually committed to it or invested in it in any way. Whereas the other ones I had been, and so they'd never been jealous. So maybe that's on me because they could feel that there was no commitment to it. Looking back now, I could go, yeah, fair enough. It probably actually was messing with their head because I really wasn't in it.
So how about in this relationship, do you find yourself getting jealous? I'll edit out the silence. That's tumbleweeds. Just floating past. Well, Bec tries to work out how to answer this question on a podcast. Okay,
I'm going to say yes and no. I have sometimes been a little bit with you, and this is something we've delved quite deeply into, I think, and you've spoken about this in the previous podcasts about your style tended to be the avoidant attachment style. That made it hard for you to trust to make a connection on a deeper level.
To make that commitment to you.
Commitment, yeah. So I think before you delve deeper into this commitment, there was an insecurity and maybe a slight jealousy because I didn't feel that commitment to the strength that I felt it needed to be to feel like secure and not jealous.
And you were saying in this relationship you were in before, the same sort of thing, because you weren't fully committed to it, that person became more jealous.
They could sense that.
It's really interesting because I think you're amazingly beautiful. Like, you're gorgeous. I check you out constantly.
Thank you, baby.
And I can see other men checking you out, but you don't. You never see it, which surprises me because men can be very obvious. Women checking you out as well, who aren't very obvious.
I've never noticed
You never notice this. I notice this. I notice what people are doing. But what's really interesting that I don't feel jealous when that happens because I feel it really deeply that you're fully committed to me and that you find me attractive and you tell me that all the time, which really helps. I have a deep trust for you, so I don't feel jealous, even though I see people look in my head and like, yeah, you can look all you like. She's mine.
That's good. That shows that you feel that strong commitment from me.
And do you feel that strong commitment from me now?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah.
So there's no instances of jealousy?
No.
Oh, good. And I think it's something that when you step into a relationship, it's something you have to work through. It is a conversation to have that if you are feeling jealous, to actually be able to say, hey, this has come up for me. I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling insecure, which is a very hard conversation to have, but one that allows a bit of freedom in the space to talk about what's going on. And then for the other person to be like, oh, okay, I didn't know. What can I do to make you feel more secure?
So I'm going to say in some ways it's not all negative. It can be quite positive. It can make your relationship stronger. You can go to that next level where I'm feeling insecure. It could be a past story. But quite often it actually might be that the person themselves, the other side, is struggling with some kind of commitment or connection, and they need to talk that out with you. And it might be a make or breaker, because it was with me and that other one. It was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not really committed to this. So I can.
And the crazier you get, the less committed I am.
Yeah, and they do. And you send the other person a little bit crazy. And I could have thrown it on him and gone, oh, he was this insecure, crazy nutter. But actually, in reality, he probably wasn't. And maybe a little bit, but I knew that he had actually been in a long-term 18-year healthy relationship. In some respects, yes, he may have been a little bit like that, and he really wanted this relationship. So that probably made him even more anxious to hang on to it.
More clingy.
Yeah, exactly. And then he could see that I was not as committed, which made him more jealous, more insecure, more needy, more wanting my time.
So for people out there who are feeling jealous in their relationship, feeling insecure, I guess the best thing, as always, is to have a conversation about it, which is something we seem to keep coming back to in each one of our letters in our alphabet soup for couples, is that there just needs to be open comms and open communication and the ability to be able to say the things which are quite deep. Talking about insecurities, that's hard because,
so hard.
And I think from my perspective, and I'll speak from my male perspective, the idea of speaking my insecurities out loud is really challenging because I do not want to be seen like that. I do not want to be seen as not strong enough to deal with it. I don't want to be seen as someone who hasn't got their shit together and someone who's getting jealous for no reason. I think the ability to be able to talk it out with you, everything, has allowed me to speak more and more. So the more I speak, the more I can speak, and it's trusted that you're not going to lose it at me or you're not going to freak out. There's a trust that whatever I say, even no matter how challenging it is for either of us, you'll hold it and listen, and that allows me to speak more. And I think that's something that if you are struggling with having those conversations with your partner, it's about practice. You've just got to keep practicing it.
Yep, have those uncomfortable conversations. We're not perfect. Always going to be doing self-growth. There's no good, bad emotion. They're all okay. It's how you deal with the emotion.
And process it. I think that's a really good point. And I might have to agree with you that maybe jealousy isn't such a bad thing.
I think we turned this podcast right around.
All right. So thank you so much for listening. Please listen to our next podcast.
K is for kids. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow us.
And if you'd like to find out more information, check out our website, rekindlingrelationships.com.
Bye for now.
See ya.